Hey, folks, a few weeks ago, you'll notice that before I get to preaching this morning, Dory and I just wanted to talk to you a little bit. A few weeks ago, I started sharing some of the history of Crossroads, and that was just a little bit of it right there. And even the windows, I pointed to the fact that these are mimicking the Calvary Baptist Church that was given to us, and the place here that we enjoy so much on a hot day like today, that we can actually be in air conditioning, and God has blessed us with this place. In fact, I ran into the guy who donated this land to us this week at a restaurant, and sort of reminisced a little bit with him about how God had moved. And in the days, in the last year, our church board that you've elected has been not wringing their hands, but trusting God, but realizing that when you run the 4 services that happen here on the weekend, 5 counting the Spanish service in the afternoon, we're running out of space. We got 400 kids. We got parking issues. We've looked at everything. And I'll guarantee you, if you come up to me afterwards and say, well, have you thought of this? I could probably pretty much tell you, yup, okay. About 3 months ago at one of our board meetings, the Caleb Committee are the ones that the board assigned to go out and beat the bushes. They all gathered together, and we all looked at each other and said, well, we realize that the only option for us as a church is to relocate. And so that began then another process of beginning to investigate. Long story made very short, a few weeks back, it was brought to our attention that there is a particular property that already has a building on it that needed to be retrofitted, but that we ought to take a look at it. So we did. We went over there as a board. We looked at it. It was something that we began to think, I think maybe God is in this. What you need to understand as a church is that we can't make a move like that until you, as the body, as partners of Crossroads, vote on it. So there's nothing to vote on. We're just beginning to investigate. But frankly, it's huge. Not the building. Well, actually, it's 3 times the size. But the project is huge. Is it something we can do? Absolutely not. That's exactly where God wants us, though. See, God's always in the business of doing the impossible. So Dory had a few things she wanted to share, too, about this.
Well, I just was reminiscing over the almost 20 years of history at Crossroads, and just thinking back on the miracles that I've seen God do. I've personally seen marriages healed and families put back together, and people who have walked through those doors with no hope and who have left with hope. And so many of you have invested your time and your resources. Jim and I have raised our kids in this family, or in this community, just like many of you have. And we've seen God do just miracles. And just this week, someone on our staff reminded us that although we bring God our needs, sometimes we forget to bring him our dreams and the possibilities and the things we hope for. And I feel like this move is one of those things, one of those dreams. And I'm excited because I don't think God is done yet with all of us. And so.
Yes. And so thank you, Dory. We're inviting you to pray. We're inviting you to drive by. It is at the corner of Madison and Cherry, over behind the Costco in Nampa. Madison and Cherry. Now, some of you are going to come up to me promptly and say, you know that there's another company interested in it, right? There's actually 4 or 5. Is it impossible? Yeah. Would it be ours if God wants it to be ours? Yeah. But I'm inviting you to drive by. I'm inviting you to get out. I'm inviting you to walk around the building. I'm inviting you to pray and ask God, what is it you want from us as Crossroads? And let him let you dream. For he is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or even imagine. So I invite you to pray.